Started like every other summit. Cameras flashing, leaders smiling, scripted words bouncing off glass walls. But this time, something cracked. The global broadcast was halfway through when Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso, stepped to the podium, calm, controlled, but with fire behind his eyes. Across the table sat Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, stone-faced, arms folded. Waiting, the topic was Gaza. Again, the room expected the usual diplomatic dance. Instead, Traoré leaned into the mic and said, "To those who bomb hospitals and call it defense, history will not remember your borders. It will remember your silence." Gasps echoed. Some scribbled notes, others froze. Netanyahu smirked, and then he stood. He cut off Traoré mid-sentence, waving a hand dismissively. "Save the speech," Netanyahu snapped. "You represent a failed state, not a moral compass." The room fell deadly quiet. That's when it happened. Traoré stepped down from the podium, slowly, controlled. His boots echoed through the silence. He walked right up to Netanyahu, stopped inches away and on live TV with the world watching. Grabbed Netanyahu by the collar, not violently, not recklessly, but with the kind of force that makes a man look into your eyes and realize you're not afraid. "You do not speak to Africa that way," Traoré said, his voice low, unshaken. "Not anymore." Gasps turned into chaos. Security flinched. Cameras zoomed in. Interpreters dropped their headsets. And for a moment, just one unforgettable moment, the world saw the raw, unfiltered tension that had been building for decades. Back in the US, cable networks broke programming. At Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump was watching. Reporters say he turned to his aides and muttered, "This is war." And that African guy, he's not bluffing. Across social media, the moment exploded. Hashtags, Netanyahu June Hall. UN Showdown June Hall. Africa Rising. Africa Rising. African youth. Flooded timelines with clips of the confrontation. Protesters poured into the streets in Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, and beyond, chanting, "He spoke for all of us." Western media scrambled. Some called it a security breach. Others said Traoré's move was undiplomatic, but the streets didn't care about diplomacy, they cared about defiance. And Traoré didn't stop there. Later, during a press conference, he doubled down. "I did not touch a man. I confronted an empire hiding behind one. No teleprompter. No apologies. Just truth, raw and terrifying to those who built the old order." Netanyahu, cornered in more ways than one, tried to spin the moment as provocation. But behind the scenes, leaks revealed that Israeli diplomats were shaken. One even said, "We expected resistance. We didn't expect courage." Meanwhile, Trump's reaction turned heads. He went live on Truth Social and said, "Netanyahu just got punked. Say what you want, that Traoré guy. He's not playing games." The fallout reached the UN Emergency Council within hours. A session was called, not because of war, but because of words. Words backed by a grip, a moment that cracked open the illusion of control. In Paris, they debated sanctions. In Brussels, they whispered about consequences. But in Accra, Bamako, and Dakar, they celebrated. Not because of violence, but because someone finally stood up, not in theory, not in private, but in front of the world's most powerful man, and didn't blink. For decades, African leaders were told to bow. Today, one of them grabbed back, and in doing so, Ibrahim Traoré didn't just shake a man, he shook the system. So now, as the cameras roll and the diplomats clean up the mess, the world is left with a question it's not ready to answer. What happens when Africa stops asking and starts leading? This wasn't a slip. This wasn't a stunt. This was the moment the script flipped. And the man who flipped it wore a red beret and the weight of a continent on his shoulders. So now, we turn to you, the people. Was Traoré right to stand up that way? Did the world need to see it happen? Let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and whether this moment changed how you see power, truth, and leadership. This is Traoré Uprising, and the world is watching. Asterisk, And now, we turn to you, the global audience. Was Traore right to stand up the way he did? Should more leaders speak with that kind of courage? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. Your voice matters, whether you're in Lagos, London, Accra, or Atlanta. This is Traore Uprising, and we're just getting started. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell because the world is changing. And this channel tells you what the headlines won't.